going to make a little plate layers hut or a little workman's office or whatever you want to call it. Get yourself a sheet of 2mm plywood. Measure out your ends, your roof and your sides, and I always use Charlie as a guide. So I've worked Charlie out on the sides as a door being about that size, so that's where we're going to base it on. As I say, I don't measure anything.
And this is in 7mm scale?
This is 7mm, yeah. Also, go to the cheap chinky shops, the UME shops, and you can get a pack of 20 of these for £1. They're for orbital sanders, round ones, but they're ideal for doing the old sander. They really get a nice finish. So work out what you want with your roof. Cut your roof, as I've done there. Don't throw those away. They'll come in handy in a minute. Right, get your sides and your 806. Best thing I've ever come across in my life. Sticks like the proverbial. A little piece on the edge. And the good thing about it is you don't need to put the top on and you don't need to rush. So, get the clean side out. Just touch on where you're going to put it. Still not happy with that, so I'm happy with it now. And then press. And just hold it for 10 seconds.
So you can move it around for a few seconds whilst you get it in the right position.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect.
Beautiful. And your little wedges are going to make the corner brackets inside.
That's right. Yeah, I've sanded them up.
Yeah.
So you just give it a little bit of on there.
That'll make sure the corner's square.
And just put that in there. Get them roughly square. As I said, I normally use a square inside, as I've done with Andy's Travalic, but this is only a little hut, so we don't bother. Notice I've gone the side to the end. If you do end to the side like that, you then end up with a ridge.
Oh yes, I see. Yeah, the roof won't fit properly.
But if you put it on there, you lose that.
Ah, right.
So,
that's a good tip.
So, as I said, we're going to follow this all the way through to the end.
You're going to do the dash on it as well, are you?
Yep. Yeah.
Right, so we're going to see it.
We're going to see the whole lot.
The whole lot, from cutting the timber right through to covering it in dash and scribing the stonework as well.
Well, you yourself have done it anyway. This is Andy P I'm talking to, who's come up from Burton, spent the weekend, and we've had a modelling boys. The
It's
girls.
actually Andrew P on the RM.
Oh, is it Andrew P?
Yeah,
is
it is on the RM web. It's still Andy to everybody else, but yeah.
As you can see,
There we go.
I've marked the window in there. But you see, I'm not rushing, even though it's super glue. You don't need to rush. Just open her up, roughly where you want it to go. Get them. Still not pushed it together yet because I'm not happy with it yet. So just take it there. That's where I want it. Get yourself a nice block of metal, and you can push against it then, and that secures that one. And same with the other side. And you can see how quickly that super glue is still not dry because I haven't pressed it. As soon as you press it into place, she locks up, and there she is.
One almost solid box before you even put your inserts in.
And I haven't even started yet.
No.
So
actually, what I did with the car repair workshop on Travalic, because there's no way I could get the roof off or get inside it because somebody else had pre-built it and it was fairly solid.
So I broke that
You
one.
just broke
Don't worry about it.
No.
It will still act as a vehicle.
So yes, as I say, that's how I did the workshop there. I did all the interior detail, then I dropped the outer shell over the top and fixed it in place. So
Right.
your roof, you got your overhangs?
Yeah, we don't need that much of overhang. I've overestimated on that. But there again, get yourself. You don't have to be an expensive knife. I use a Stanley. Obviously, Stanley's been around for years, and it's a really good one. I find with the smaller ones, they dull very easy, the blades. So as you can see, I'm not measuring anything. I haven't measured a thing since I built it. You don't need to measure it. You just use your eye. Your eyes will tell you. If it don't look square, 9 times out of 10. So you just put that where you want it to go, you check that the overhang is right and what you got there, so we're quite happy with that. So we can put the old glue on there.
And that's 806, you say, the super glue?
Yeah, it's Power Bond. It's not actually called super glue, it's Power Bond. I think it's all made by the people that make super glue.
And where did you get that, George?
I got that off the internet. Just
All right.
type in Power Bond 806 onto eBay, and there's a guy in there that sells it. He sells it in 3 tubes, and you write away to him, send him a tenner, and you got 3 bottles of glue coming. I got some more ordered because I'm using it.
Yeah, you seem to get through it quite quickly, but
Yeah,
it works on everything, doesn't it?
Oh, it worked. I stuck everything with this.
Because that's how you made the coal stage on,
Yeah.
coaling stage on Trebarrock yesterday afternoon.
Marry that up with that, and you should then have a presentable little
And
building.
that's just taken a few minutes to do.
Hold her in there. There she goes. There you go. And as you can see, that is roughly the size of a little shed. So what we're going to do next, we're going to cover it in DAS. We don't worry about anything. It doesn't need sand or nothing. So first of all, we've got to prepare the DAS. Now what you need to do is get in the kitchen and pinch one of her wipes. Don't let her see you do it. Just make sure that's pretty moist. Then undo.
Big plate of glass.
Oh yes, it's a big plate piece of glass, that is. You can even pick them up in Aldi's now. You probably want half that. Be surprised how quickly, how far it goes. Just give it a little bit of that. And then, without her knowing, preferably when she's at the shops, get the old rolling pin out. Just give it a bit of a wipe and just press down. I'm sure you guys know how to do this.
A brass bar or...
Yeah, run out. Now, we're quite happy with that. Now, what we've got to do first is coat the surface with some neat PVA glue. So we do the back side first. So just whop it on there. Don't have to be neat. The more on there, the better, actually. Just chuck it on there. Obviously, with a big thing like Andy's Trebarrock station, that was a little bit of a nightmare. But we got there in the end. Anyway, yeah, these are one of those blades, these snap-off blades, but they're great for picking things up like this. Once you've got that, just go underneath it. It won't break, and if it does, you just roll it again. But roughly where you want to put it. And what I do then, if I'm going to put this on there, just put a little bit of that on there as well. This helps to stop it from sticking. Give yourself a straight edge, like so. Now that fits up nicely under that ridge. And just pass it down there.
So neat.
And yeah, I was talking to David Wright, and I said, well, how are you doing it? And he says, well, what I do is I take a size of a pea and I'll press it and I roll it, and I thought, oh, there's got to be an easier way to do it than that. So that's water supplied by Mr. Peters.
Thank you.
I call him Mimi actually, because he's come up this weekend and it's been me, I want this, I want that, so that's it. Even when we go out for meal, it's what he wants. And what I do then is I just dunk my finger in it and just wet it. Now Andy done this a while ago and he said, oh, it cracks, there's big cracks. That's because it was too dry. But if you do that, just smooth it in. As you can see, that's covering that quite good.
That looks really
See,
good.
in such a short time, how we've managed to do that. I need to cut that off a bit. As I said, you can't really go wrong, really, because whatever mistake you do, you just rub it in. So you're not going to get any problems with it. as you say, don't worry too much about the edges. We ain't worried about them. Just get it so it adheres to it nicely. As you can see, it's a nice finish. Yeah, I suppose you could put a scribing tool on it when it's nearly dry, would make it easier, but it's quite pleasing to do the scribing, I find anyway. I quite enjoy it. And it's amazing all the different finishes. I actually built that in sections and mitered it all together, but it was a lot of work. I won't do it again. Unless he crosses my palm with plenty of silver, then I might think about it.
Engage one next, George.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Right,
That's lovely. If you were doing a white stone building like a Scottish one, then you get a nice finish on that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you wouldn't have it overly smooth. You wouldn't have it overly flat.
Because we're speaking now. Right. As you can see, it's coming together like a real house now. What I do is I'd use your fingernails, just rub it in there. As I said, you can smooth it off tomorrow when it's all dry. Rub it down if you find you're going too thick on it. But you must agree, Andy, that is a lot easier than
lovely.
It's a lot easier than putting it on like David does with a
Yes,
pea.
it is, yeah.
And that will dry with the amount of PVA we've got. Now that'll dry. And if you have made a muck up on it, believe you me, we can get a craft knife and you can scrape it all off tomorrow, and that will look nice. I was going to do the roof, but I won't do the roof with it. We used my old trusted thing. And then we'll put a little bit of guttering on there. That's really basically all you can do at this stage, because it's gooey and wet. And Andy's waiting to take over because he's got a little demonstration of his weathering of his 00 gauge stuff. So, you know. So what do you reckon then? I reckon
nice.
Yeah. It's a lot. As I said, David just does it, but that looks quite nice as it is. So I'm going to put my rolling pin back in the kitchen before the Petticoat Parliament comes in and bashes me with it. So I'll just clear up, and part 2 I'll show you how I scribe the stones. Oh, I know what I haven't done, which needs to be done.
You're about to go flatter on your camera.
Yeah, well, we'll be alright here. I'm just going to put a doorway in there. Now, the doorways are quite easy. I used to cut them out first, but I found it's a lot easier and a lot neater. Don't worry about that lifting it, it'll come with. So just gently tease it in. Let's say it doesn't have to be perfect. That's a good thing about this, because I can tidy it all up tomorrow. But that'll be the door tomorrow. As you can see, it's better than fingerboard. Just get a little bit of water. Just tap in what you've done wrong. Wash out the PVA. Take that out. As I said, tomorrow it'll all be solid. And then you've got a nice line here to build a door up with. Voila.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Simplicity
You
itself.
could almost paint that door and it would be in there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going to give it a little on the corner, say doing it tomorrow. I really want them to be squarish.
I use my fingers in a V in my corners. And,
I use my fingers in a V. I get shot. There you go. So I'll put that to one side and that's finished. Okay, mate.